Take two. I'm still trying to figure out what makes you hard on the call. I guess it comes from your heart, 'cause when your head's right, you take your time. There's something about the love that things you like. Fire when the strobe hits. Bet you're looking for something new. I feel the hate with the staring up across the room. I dare you play your cards, boy, you bet I'm a trendsetter too.
Safes are not impenetrable. They can be easily broken into if kids have the time and the place to do it. So if used right, safes can be minutes, seconds added on to catching your kids or keeping them from getting your medicine. I watched a kid on YouTube picking a master lock with this same technique, so it's not just these little lock boxes. I'm kind of upset that I don't see lock boxes used to keep medicine put up more often. It's something that I've seen throughout my whole life, ever since my dad's been on the methadone program. And, well, let's just ask him. Hey, Dad.
How you doing?
So, you ready to do this?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you about your lockbox.
It's mandatory.
At the methadone clinic?
Correct. Cannot leave the clinic unless your methadone is, your take-home methadone is locked up in a lockbox.
So, you can't take your medicine home if you forgot your lockbox,
Right.
or say your key for your lockbox because you can't open it up and put your medicine in it.
Well, they watch you open it and they watch you lock it. If you can't lock it before you leave, you can't take it anyway.
If you can't lock your box before you leave, you can't take it.
Right.
So you'd have to go up there every day to take your medicine.
Right, I would.
So, why do you take this hardcore medicine? They say this is stuff to get people off heroin.
I did hard physical labor all my life in the oil field, in oil construction, and wore my body out. I've had my knees replaced, back so bad it can't be operated on. Had arthroscopic surgery on one of my shoulders, and they want me to have both of them changed.
Wow.
I ain't done that yet.
Well, let's take a peek at this stuff.
Sure.
I hope it doesn't look anything like gummy bears or anything.
Oh no, it's a lot better now. It's really nice. It's like little miniature bottles of Kool-Aid.
What?
Yeah. Children would love that. Get their hands on that. That's
yeah.
enough right there to kill 10 babies. Or more.
Wow. That's intense. Some of these things can be as deadly, if not more deadly, and we have them in our kitchen cabinets. I'm not asking people to wipe out their medicine cabinets. Maybe we can do little things like putting our medicine on the top shelf, or maybe even finding a way to lock up the shelf entirely. But we have to dilute and synthesize medicine from its raw form to make it safe. In most cases, you get your medicine in 30-day increments, and it's up to you to follow the directions. With instructions like, take as needed, it's no wonder some of us get addicted, like I did. Now, before I get into how I stopped amphetamines, let's hear what the OBN has to say about cannabis.
They're hiring scientists to produce the strongest strains in the world. Why? Because if you don't, they're going to go down the street. And that is why there's people standing in line at 6:30 in the morning when it's 20 below zero in Denver, Colorado. Somebody explain that to me.
The saving and the shoving begin. Nationwide, those hours of waiting in line overnight, 33 hours out here, transforming into this morning's annual Black Friday.
I'd like to give you a definition or an explanation of addiction, but I'm not a doctor or a scientist of any sort. So how about we grab one of my favorite scientists and have him give it a try.
We have the good old DSM-5. This is what psychiatrists use to classify and diagnose mental disorders. It says in here that addiction is the compulsive use of a substance or a compulsive behavior that harms you. Now, people, we're not talking about really liking chocolate or rewatching episodes of Game of Thrones. We're talking about real conditions that do real harm. Our society, being what it is, we often think a person becomes a drug addict or an alcoholic because of some obvious choice or avoidable weakness or moral failing. We presume that if that person would just straighten up and fly right, their addiction would go away. I'm here to tell you that just ain't so.
Forgive me for jumping in, okay, but I'm a treatment professional. Over 70% of drug addicts started smoking marijuana.
Is that causation? Sorry, is that causation or correlation?
The deal is that the same pathways are involved in the brain, obviously, and you can't, the brain and behavior is inextricably linked, but we have to be careful about talking about cause and effect here. So yes, as somebody is experiencing any form of addiction, you're going to see certain patterns that are occurring in their brain. The first step in treatment for many people with drug addiction is to detox them. It's to make it so that they're no longer itching to have that drug, like they're no longer getting violently ill.
And now we're on to the third part of this three-part video, the exit strategy and my experience with cannabis.
People, are you guys, isn't this cool? I mean, everybody has been affected by it. Everybody's fascinated. Right on.
Yeah, I feel like I can make this video, I guess because of my history with addiction and my own personal addiction on my ADHD medicine. Yeah, I have ADHD. Some people don't think that's real, but it's one of the most studied mental disorders out there, and doctors were giving me amphetamine salts for it. I started doing drugs with Ritalin in the 4th grade. Yeah, I started experimenting with drugs after that, and I just realized that I'm trying to use this stop sign as a good symbol, but it's going to be backwards in my video. Woo woo. Well, yeah, I was addicted. I started abusing my medicine around the time my sister died when she was 22. She overdosed on her medicine that she was given for anxiety and depression. It was just a pill cocktail. I was 18 at the time, and now I'm 27. I have 2 younger sisters that everyone probably knows. They're not dead. And for methamphetamines in particular, that's the one I can talk about because that was my drug of choice. They do the exact opposite. Cannabis is perfect for an exit strategy for amphetamines. I was abusing my Adderall, and that led to bigger things. And eventually, I was in a bad spot, and I had to detox hardcore. I used cannabis, and it wasn't as bad. And now I use my cannabis instead of my Adderall, because I don't really think that I could take an Adderall and not get those memories and those thoughts back from doing harder things. And that's gonna wrap it up. That's my experience with hard drugs and addiction, and my testimonial for cannabis as an exit strategy for amphetamines. You'd have to ask my dad what he thinks about replacing his methadone with cannabis, but I'm sure he would be all for it. And we can't ask my sister, Jackie, who is no longer with us. She's forever 22 because she was taking some pretty hardcore stuff for depression and anxiety. So, I'm sure she would have enjoyed being able to take a little toke and feel a little happier. So, I'd like to thank all the volunteers for 788. And, for all your hard work, and again, don't forget to vote yes on 788 June 26th. And thanks everybody for listening to me rant. Until next time, I probably won't be doing another one of these, but I hopefully will be making another fun video about something. Since you're already here on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe if you want. I only need 993 more subscribers till I can start monetizing my channel. Help a boy's dream come true.
With the staring up across the room.
Fix it, Brad? Yes.